the reading lesson plan or planning the reading experience. First of all, it starts with a purpose. Why are you reading? The reason. There are two purpose statements, and I don't use objectives. I use purpose statement because learning happens in the head. You cannot see pure learning. For a narrative text, it should be this: students will read and enjoy. That's why we read the story. Or expository texts, students will read and understand. Those are the only two purposes for reading a book. You have a pre-reading activity, and the goal of this is to get your students ready to read, to provide a scaffold of sorts. And think of students that have trouble reading the story. You want to provide some sort of scaffold or support so that they can read. Now, the goal of the reading experience is not your neat pre-reading activity. It's to get them ready. So it should be short and then get out of the way. Remember, the purpose is to read and enjoy or to read and understand. Short, short, short. Possible activities include those right there, and those are just some for your low ability readers. Story maps or story structures or outlines. Sometimes you may have to teach important concepts or vocabulary, but again, keep it short. The goal is to read and understand or to read and enjoy. Always then make a link from the pre-reading activity to the story itself. The during reading experience, you have to describe exactly how students will read the assigned selection. Now, we do not want to do round-robin reading. Very, 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 very rarely. That's where you go around in a circle and one person reads at a time. That is artificial. Real people don't read that way, and it inhibits understanding. Either silent reading, where they read the selection to themselves, buddy reading, find a partner, go find a place in the room, trade off reading out loud every other one, whisper reading using your 6 or your 3-inch voice, or else shared reading. And again, this should replicate the purpose. The purpose is to read and enjoy or read and understand. It is not to read and be tested or to read so that the teacher can test to make sure you read it. Well, what happens if they don't read the story, Andy? Well, then you find a story that they will read. Find the books and they will come. And then the post-reading activity should be an activity to get the students to manipulate or to extend or to be engaged with the story of in some way. Now, for narrative text, you need to have an aesthetic response activity, not the gentle interrogation where you ask detailed questions. What happened here? What happened here? Who was that? And you want to avoid comprehension worksheets because they do absolutely nothing to improve comprehension. Open-ended activities that might be called aesthetic response activities are all there. And remember, the purpose statement is to read and enjoy or to read and understand, not remember and regurgitate. Everything that follows should reflect your purpose statement.